back to 2017, Kobe gave you the first challenge, the MVP, and you made it 2 years after. And in 2019, Kobe said championship, and then 2 years after, you made it again. What does that mean for you to have someone like Kobe Bryant just start believing you when you were 22 years old and then just keep giving you new challenge and you made it?
Yeah, it means a lot. This is started like almost like a joke at first. Like it was like I think a Nike ad, and he was sending like challenge to players, to Isaiah Thomas, DeMar DeRozan, and all that. And I was like, yeah, let me just shoot my shot. Kind of like was my challenge. And he was like MVP. But at first I was like joking. I didn't thought he's gonna respond to me. But when he did, he made me believe. Like I'm like Kobe Bryant thinks I can do this. I can play in the higher level and lead my team and win the MVP. And I had to do it. I had to work hard. And not necessarily let him down. I had to work hard because people believe that I can do it. And that's the thing. I'm a people pleaser. I don't like letting people down. I like letting like when I resigned with the city of Milwaukee, that's the main reason I resigned, because I didn't want to let the people down and think that, I don't work extremely hard for them, which I do, but be able to accomplish those things in this period of time it's crazy. It's unreal.
I want to thank my dad. Obviously, my dad is not here with me, but you know, 2 years ago, and I had the goal in my head that I'm going to be the best player in the league. I'm going to do whatever it takes to help my team win, and I'm going to win the MVP. And every day that I step on the floor, I always think about my dad, and that motivates me and it pushes me to play harder and move forward. Even though when my body's sore, even though when I don't feel like playing, I always going to show up and I was going to do the right thing. I want to thank my amazing brothers. I love you guys, man.
In case you're not aware, Giannis's father died 2 years ago, hence some of that emotion there. By the way, back in 2017, Kobe Bryant challenged Giannis to win MVP on Twitter. Last night, Kobe replied to his old tweet to congratulate Giannis and provide the next challenge, and you see it there. Next up, championship, hashtag Mamba mentality. And look, you and I were here yesterday, Jalen, and we both would have voted for James Harden, but that doesn't diminish in any way what Giannis accomplished. And when you see the emotion, when you see how much this mattered to him last night, it really was a beautiful moment.
It absolutely was, and it reminded me of the NBA draft in a lot of ways. You saw young men getting drafted, chasing their dreams, and shedding tears of joy. And then the other side of it, having heavy hearts, and that level of emotion being displayed outward publicly. It's always discussed, especially for men that play a physical sport, that when you show emotion, sometimes people think that you're vulnerable. So it's refreshing to me to see a guy like Giannis, who won the MVP last night, be able to share that level of emotion, because we only see the end game a lot of times. Him winning MVP, team having the best record in the game. But he had to overcome a lot to get there, and it was really great to see.
No doubt about it. The other thing that occurred to me as I was looking through this morning is the globalization of the game of basketball. I mean, look at the awards last night. These are the most significant awards that are given out by our league, this league. And there's Luka Doncic winning one of them, and Pascal Siakam winning another, and Giannis Antetokounmpo winning the biggest. And one of the things they all have in common is none of them were born in this country. And if you're asking why is the NBA so much better than it ever was before, it is because it has expanded its talent base from 300 million people basically to planet Earth. And that is why the game is so much better.
And we could talk so many ways about why the popularity of NBA players trumps that of other sports. You just alluded to it. Who's the best international football player in the NFL?
Meaning our football,
Yeah.
or
In
what the rest
NFL.
of the world considers football? I mean, the biggest star is probably Tom Brady, but Who knows? It doesn't compare to
International.
this. No, I mean, there isn't one.
Because it's an American sport.
Right. No, the
Okay?
basketball is now a global sport.
Absolutely.
In every sense of that
Yes.
word. So you saw who won the awards last night. Now, Jalen, of course, is a voter, and yesterday we showed you his ballot. And so let's see how the awards turned out relative to what you voted last night, Jalen. You see, Doncic is what you had there. By the way, not on your screen there, Coach of the Year, Budenholzer did win it, and that was your pick.
It was my pick, and I still stand by my picks. James Harden had a historic season. Giannis, terrific defensively. I tried to do a breakdown earlier in the year and let people know Pascal Siakam was coming, and Luka Doncic was terrific the entire year. Trae Young came on late.
Yeah, in closing, I'd say I would have voted for Harden as well, but you can't argue. We're splitting hairs. Antetokounmpo obviously had a brilliant season.
Can we not do
Giannis had 50 points, tied for the most in a finals-clinching win in NBA history. Look at the names on that list. MJ, Magic, Shaq. He also became the first player with 50, 10, and 5 in a playoff game since blocks were tracked. That was in the early 70s. Stephen A. Smith, you were in the building. Tell me this, sir. Thoughts on Giannis's performance?
I don't know if I've ever seen a better performance in an NBA Finals closeout game. I saw Magic Johnson drop 42 and 15 against the Philadelphia 76ers, playing center when Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was out against the Philadelphia 76ers. I saw Michael Jordan drop 45 in that Game 6 when he crossed over Byron Russell and hit the jumper in his last game as a Chicago Bull to win his final championship. But I've never seen a performance in a closeout game for a championship that was better than what I witnessed last night. He was absolutely sensational, just dominant. He was a man amongst boys. Poor DeAndre Ayton, part of it was that he had no help on the front line, so he had to watch himself to some degree, but Giannis couldn't be guarded, and he certainly couldn't guard Giannis. And then Giannis is fighting coming downhill. He's attacking the basket. Every little lull that Milwaukee had, he'd answer the call himself and literally put the franchise on his back. Middleton didn't really have it last night for the first 3 quarters. Drew Holiday didn't have it at all, shot 1 for 11 in the first half. And Giannis said, the hell with all of that. We ain't going back to Phoenix. We ain't going back to the desert. We going to close this out tonight and put the franchise on his back and just willed them to a championship. It was as dominant a performance by a big that I had seen. And we're talking about Shaq, we're talking about Will Chamberlain, we're talking about Bill Russell, we're talking about all of these guys who were legitimate centers, which Giannis Antetokounmpo is not. But he damn sure looked like that last night. And in the end, what I walked away thinking about was, how he stayed the course, the level of adversity. How many times, Max, did we lament during the playoffs, particularly when it came to somebody like Ben Simmons, how he didn't want the ball because he was scared of getting fouled and knew that he would have to go to the free throw line. Well, Giannis didn't care about the ridicule. He didn't care about the insults. He didn't care about the embarrassments or anything like that. He just wouldn't stop coming. And last night, they sent him to the free throw line. We're talking free throws with all the stuff, all the great things that happened last night. What you walked away with most was the fact that this dude, ridiculed ad nauseum throughout the postseason, went to the free throw line 19 times and made 17 free throws. That's 89.5% from the free throw line. He did it all. He did it all, and he's been he's a worthy champion, and we just got to give him his props.
Yeah, Giannis was unbelievable last night. Let's keep in mind he hyperextended his knee in game 4 of the previous series, and it looked like at that moment he might be out for the playoffs. And in a year where AD went down and Kawhi went down and even LeBron was compromised and Harden wasn't there at first and Kyrie went down, Giannis not only got back, but got back and picked up where he left off. It wasn't just that he ended with 50 and 90% basically from the free throw line in a closeout game, but he strung together, 15 straight performances where this guy was just completely unstoppable. And we're in an era of bigs right now, quiet as kept. And I'm not even talking about KD, who's almost 7 feet, or LeBron, who's 260 pounds, because once upon a time, that would have qualified them as bigs. But they have perimeter player skills. I'm talking about, let's be honest, Giannis, back-to-back regular season MVPs, didn't win it a third straight time because there was fatigue giving it to him, So Jokic beat out Embiid. And when you say he's not really a center, Stephen A., but he's a big. He makes his living in the paint, and he can protect the rim. That's a big in my book, right? So it's Giannis, Jokic over Embiid. And in the finals, Giannis MVP this year, AD could have easily been MVP last year. We are in an era of kind of hybrid modern bigs right now, and Giannis might be the best among them. By the way, he's the face of the NBA right now and maybe the most likable superstar in sports.
So let's stay with that because, Max, is this form of Giannis, the one that made 17 of 19 free throws, 50 points,